Patches, Lost and Found by Steven Kroll, illustrated by Barry Colt. Patches, Lost and Found. Ginny loved to draw pictures. She drew pictures of Mom and herself. On vacation, she drew pictures of her house and the street where they lived. She drew pictures of her pet guinea pig, Patches. She drew pictures of her school and her teacher, Mr. Griswood. One Monday, Mr. Griswood announced to the class,
"Your assignment for next Monday is to write a story. You can work on it at school and at home."
Could I draw a picture instead?
Ginny asked. Mr. Griswood shook his head.
"Not unless it goes with the words first."
All the way home on the school bus, Ginny tried to think of something to write about. Nothing came. Her mind was like an empty sack. Writing had always been hard for her. When she got home, Mom asked, "How was school?"
Not so good.
said Ginny.
I have to write a story.
"I want to hear more about it,"
said Mom. "But first, I have to tell you, Patches is missing. I went to feed him, and his cage door was opened,"
Oh no,
said Ginny.
my poor guinea pig.
"Let's look for him," Mom said. "He must be nearby." They looked under Ginny's bed and in her closet. They looked in Mom's room and all over the house. "No Patches." "I have an idea," Mom said. "Why don't you make some posters? We'll put them up around the neighborhood,"
Okay.
said Ginny. She pulled out paper and crayons and drew a picture of a big white guinea pig. He had a black patch over one eye and another over his tail. Under the picture, she wrote Patches and Lost and her phone number. After dinner, Ginny and her mom put up the posters, but by bedtime, there was still no Patches. The next morning, he hadn't shown up either.
Where could he be?
Ginny asked at breakfast. "I'm sure he'll turn up," answered Mom. Ginny went back to her room. She sketched what could have happened to Patches. She drew him skittering out the back door. Then she drew him hiding under a bush in the garden. She taped the drawings to her wall. They hadn't looked in the garden. Maybe Patches was there. Ginny went out to check, but he wasn't under any bushes. At school, Jason and Allison asked Ginny,
Have you thought of a story yet? No,
said Ginny miserably.
I haven't thought of anything.
When Ginny got home that afternoon, she raced into her mom's office. "Sorry, Ginny, still no Patches," Mom said. Ginny pulled out paper and crayons. She drew more pictures about what could have happened. She drew a picture of a thief stealing Patches and running down the street Then she drew another picture of the thief getting on a motorcycle and riding away. She taped both pictures to the wall. Wednesday came and went. No word on Patches, and Ginny still didn't have an idea for her story.
Any progress?
Mr. Griswood asked. Ginny shook her head. At home that night, Ginny finished more drawings. She drew the thief carrying Patches onto a train. She drew a passenger on the train spying the thief and calling the police. She hung both pictures on the wall. On Thursday, Ginny asked Mom if she could stay home from school. She hadn't thought of a story, and she hadn't found Patches. Okay, said Mom. You do look pale. Maybe a day of rest will do you good. Ginny stayed in her room. She drew a picture of the police setting out to capture the thief. She drew another of the police arresting him. She taped both pictures to her wall. On Friday, Ginny really did feel sick. She had a sore throat and a cough all day long. She drew more pictures. She drew the police taking the thief off to jail. She drew the police captain carrying Patches home to her and her family. She drew a picture of herself and Mom standing in their doorway welcoming Patches home. She taped all 3 pictures to her wall. The next day was Saturday, and Ginny didn't have to worry about going to school. As she was finishing breakfast, someone knocked on the door. Mom went to open it.
Hi,
said Mr. Scooter from down the block.
I think I have something for you.
He blinked through his thick glasses. In his arms was Patches.
Patches!
Ginny shouted.
Where did you find him, Mr. Scooter?
Under a bush. I didn't see your posters until last night. By then, he'd nibbled my whole lawn. Better than any lawnmower.
Oh, my goodness, said Mom.
Oh, thank goodness,
said Ginny. She gave Patches a hug and a squeeze. Later that day, Mom came into Ginny's room. Ginny was cuddling Patches. So what are you going to write your story about? Ginny shrugged.
I can't think of anything.
Mom glanced up. Look at all these pictures. They tell a wonderful story. All you have to do is add words to your pictures. Mom was right. Ginny found it was easy to add words now that she had done all the pictures. On Monday, Ginny brought her story, Patches Lost and Found, to school. She read it out loud to her class.
Your story's great,
said Allison. Congratulations, said Jason.
Nice job,
said Mr. Griswood.
Words first, pictures second.
No,
said Ginny.
pictures first, words second.
You mean you did all the pictures first?
said Mr. Griswood.
Yes,
said Ginny.
Well,
said Mr. Griswood.
you've taught me something. I'd like to meet Patches. Why don't you bring him to school?
For more upcoming fun, adventurous books, please subscribe.